Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the Hot Stocks Outlook for April 26, 2019. Hope you're all having an excellent week in the financial markets, and as always, plenty of great opportunities to cover today. We're going to start here with the Children's Place. So we got some opportunities there in retail. Wheaton Precious Metals, a lot going on in gold, silver markets. We've got Incyte here, Spirit Airlines, and also ConAgra. Again, we looked at things like McCormick's, the food producing stocks, doing very, very well here. But starting out with the Children's Place, and what we have here are daily bars here. So each one of these bars represents a full and complete trading day. And against that price action, you see that there's a couple of values here. There's this black line and also a blue line against that daily price action. Now, the black line that you see on the chart there, that is a regular, or what we refer to as the actual simple moving average. That's a very common technical indicator, just a simple moving average. It takes the last 10 trading days, adds them all together, divides by 10. And it's a very good barometer of where prices have been. But obviously, as traders, we need to know where prices are expected to move moving forward. So what we're able to do with this technology is compare that black value, that lagging moving average, to this blue value that you see against the chart. And for that value to be calculated, VantagePoint is doing what's called intermarket analysis, and it's using the technology of neural networks, a type of artificial intelligence, to determine how up to 35 different markets are all affecting and influencing the value and future prices of the Children's Place. Now, to understand this, this can be other competing stocks, other retail stocks. This can be ETF groups. This is things like the S&P 500, the dollar index, different currencies. And all of these markets share very important relationships to the target market that you're trying to trade and how we're trying to produce this forecast. So what we're able to do is compare that black value, or that lagging moving average that acts as a good barometer of where prices have been, and compare that to this blue moving average, which is telling us where prices are expected to move going forward in the future. So how this actually works is VantagePoint's generating future data, so predictive data, and building it into these indicators to make them forward looking. Now, once that blue line crosses above the black line, it's essentially saying that, look, average prices are expected to move higher, and the trend is essentially up. So you'd want to look to take long positions in a market where that predicted moving average is moving above the actual. Now, in addition to those black and blue line there, you'll see that we have a indicator at the bottom, and this can be a green configuration or a red configuration. And what this is telling you is simply short-term strength or weakness in the market, and specifically 48 hours of strength or weakness. So if you know directionally you want to be buying the market, there will be these time periods where the neural index here may say, hey, look out for some weakness over the next couple of trading days, but often a great opportunity to go ahead and get long. And really a simple way how I think of it is when that neural index goes down to that red configuration, you're likely to trade on the lower side of that predicted moving average. And you see again here, we get that neural index, we trade a little bit below this moving average, but the trend very much to the upside. So really great opportunity here. And really to round out these forecasts though, you're actually given a predicted high and low range. That's what the shadow candle you see here is for the next trading day. So the trading day that has not yet occurred, so that you can determine, hey, where should I set my limit orders? Where should I add into this position? Well, if we go ahead and bring up those predicted highs and lows, we can see just how accurate this is, where you're going ahead and getting into the market here and understanding, hey, I want to be a buyer here, want to be a buyer here. Hey, and you see on days like this where the predicted highs and lows actually move lower, letting you know, expect these lower prices, but these are great opportunities to be buying into the market at these intraday predicted low levels, right? And so you see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries into this uptrend, and just a really nice move to the upside here, and a really great opportunity to get into a trend, trail your stops, and ride this trend. As long as that blue line remains above the black line, the trend is up and you've got an opportunity there. Here in Wheaton Precious Metals, so a lot of weakness in the gold market. The dollar doing very, very well. Foreign currencies doing weak, obviously, since the dollar is doing well. Well, what do we see here in Wheaton Precious Metals? Well, crossover to the downside, a lot of weakness from the neural index. And again, when that neural index gets bullish, you get those periods where you'll move above the predicted moving average. But that doesn't mean go long. It's just saying expect that strength, and it's a great time to go in and short. So again, to this concept of intermarket analysis, Stocks like Wheaton Precious Metals, obviously heavily driven by commodities like gold, silver, platinum, other ETFs, gold mining ETFs. And what we're able to do is use that predictive data to make much better indicators here. And you see saying, look to go ahead and get short, and intraday, look towards these predicted high levels to set those short positions and even add to your position. Now, I really wanted to go ahead and point this out because when you get accustomed to how the technology works, you really get familiar with, what's going on here. And you look at this trading day here where what happens on days like this is it's just all the selling price action, right? We open, the market goes straight down, it closes right at that low, but you never got the buying action from here. And you see what happens, right? The next day you come in, you almost perfectly hit that predicted high, and then the downtrend continues. So when you understand to say, okay, well, get the trend direction down, understand where you want to be long, where you want to be short, and deal with that price action over the next, couple of trading days, right? With this neural index letting you know strength or weakness over those periods of time so that you can stick with that trade and really make the most of these opportunities. So we see here, really nice entry here. You'd end up getting filled right at the open of that trading day. Here, so about 3 entries right before this thing really starts to move aggressively lower. But again, really great opportunities out there to actually go ahead and short the market. So, there's some nice areas where you can go ahead and you see about a 10% decline, maybe a little less from this area where you come in short about 9% so far. But, we look at things like this. We look at areas of the market where you can get long, but really good areas to go ahead and hedge yourself and actually get short. Utilities, another area that's doing pretty poor and a great place to take some short opportunities. Here's Incyte, which we've brought in over the past week here and said, okay, well, crossovers to the downside, neural index here at a 0, telling you, look to get short this market and use those predicted levels from VantagePoint to do it. And just perfect entry here on the short side here. And again, as this market even picks up some momentum, look at these levels coming in and saying, hey, you want to be shorting at these levels. And, days like this are real tricky, right? Where, if you want to go ahead and short the market on this day, well, look what happens. You can short up at the predicted high, but then the market closes there. So you need to go ahead and hold on to that position for that longer term trend. And you see that's where the money's made, is that next open, you're gapping down and pretty aggressively moving lower as that trend continues. So Incyte, really great opportunity here. Again, these areas where you can come in and hedge your portfolio, actually make money on the downside of the market. But, this market's off 13% in just 13 trading days. So not even 3 weeks of time, a 13% decline. Airlines doing well though, right? So it has been a mixed market coming into really the midpoint in March and all through April here. There are some stocks still doing well from the beginning of the year, and there's some areas that are doing weak. But recently what we've seen is a lot of the airlining stocks started to turn higher. And so you see these crossovers moving to the upside, neural index strongly at a 1 here. You see we get a little bit of this volatility where we trade below the predicted moving average, but the blue line, the trend's still up and saying, look, hold on to this position. Use those intraday levels of those predicted highs and lows to add to your position, strategically here. And again, this is one of these days where you're going to get filled at the open if you have these limit orders waiting. And again, here you see how we come down, hit this predicted low. Look at how the predicted highs and lows before this trading day even occurs is saying, look, expect this market to come down a little bit. You want to be a buyer down here, not chasing anything or right at the open or anything like that. And again, this guidance moving forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 entries to the upside. That's 8 successful trades, depending on your time frame that you're working with here. 8 opportunities to go ahead and get long here. You see this market up 10% and really just the month here of April. So not a very long period of time, and these things already getting a really sizable cushion from your entry where you first notice these stocks moving higher. Lastly here, ConAgra, and we've seen a lot of these, Constellation Brands, McCormick. Here's ConAg, right? Crossover to the upside saying, go ahead and look to get long. This is actually earnings here, but what I love about the software is a lot of times, the software can't account for, what the earnings numbers are going to be, right? It's looking at those intermarket relationships and has an extremely high accuracy as it's forecasting forward. But even with all this volatility coming in and a catalyst like that, those predicted levels are getting back on track and understanding that, okay, see what's going on here. And great levels to come in and add to that position. But of course, when that, crossover comes to the downside, right? When the blue line moves below the black line, well, hey, party's over, time to move on, find something else. But even before this market turned higher, you had some really nice entries to the upside. And again, we can take a look at the entirety of the trend here. But what's really more importantly is how well you can manage these things as the trends continue. And that's where a lot of value is with these predicted highs and lows, a predicted neural index at the bottom here that's letting you know about that short-term strength or weakness so that you can be buying on those dips at those predicted levels. And you see this market up over 35% really just in the last month of time here. So there's been some really fantastic opportunities out there in the markets. But of course, you don't want to get caught up in things like, Incyte or Wheaton Precious Metals. Those are areas we can actually make money on the short side as well. And if, the S&P starts moving down or you see that volatility, you're going to have things in the portfolio that are really working out for you. So we'll go ahead and leave it there. Great opportunities really all throughout the different sectors. But once again, this has been our hot stocks outlook for April 26, 2019. Thank you all for watching. Best of luck and bye for now.